everyone, it's Chelsea with a new episode of Why This Song. We're here to answer a one-word musical question. Why? Why does a song get recorded in the first place? Why does it become massive? And why is it still loved today? Why This Song is all about pop and culture. Two of my favorite things to talk about with old and new friends like you. Did you guess that I'm talking about the 1972 worldwide hit Alone Again Naturally by Gilbert O'Sullivan? Alone Again Naturally might be one of the saddest songs in pop music history. It begins with Gilbert O'Sullivan sharing he's through with living after being left at the altar, and goes on to list the many ways life has kicked him when he's down.
In a little while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sound, I promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby tower. And climbing to the top, will throw myself off in an effort to make clear to whoever what it's like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church where people were saying, "My God, that's tough." She stood him up. No point in us remaining. We may as well go home, 'cause I did on my own, alone again, naturally.
Alone Again Naturally is 53 years old, the definition of a classic song. It's the story of a man who doesn't have it all and has learned to deal with it.
The interesting thing when I meet people who love the song, they'll tell me that they're surprised that it's not based on personal experience. But I tell them that it's an understanding of a subject that helps me as a lyricist. You don't have to experience it to get into the subject. So that's interesting. The other thing is the early days of writing this song. In those days, you wrote songs for singles and stuff. It didn't necessarily go on albums. It was all about the singles you'd be doing every 2 or 3 months.
I think that only yesterday I was cheerful, bright and gay, looking forward to what wouldn't do the role I was about to play. But as if to knock me down, reality came around, and without so much as a mere touch, cut me into little pieces.
As if that's not unhappy enough, he goes on to share the details of his parents' deaths.
I remember I cried when my father died, never wishing to hide the tears. And at 65 years old, my mother, God rest her soul, couldn't understand why the only man she had ever loved had been taken, leaving her to start with a heart so badly broken. Despite encouragement from me, no words were ever spoken. When she passed away, I cried and cried all day, alone again, naturally.
Gilbert O'Sullivan sweetens the song with a gorgeous melody and knowledge that his over-the-top cynicism is mixed with a serious dose of black humor.
It seems to me that there are more hearts broken in the world that can't be mended, left unattended. What do we do? What do we do?
Gilbert O'Sullivan knew he had the lyrics for the song, though it was missing one key thing. He needed another word to complete the title.
So I had to finish the song Alone Again with another song called Out of the Question. So one of those had to be the next single, but I didn't have Naturally. I had Alone Again. And for days afterwards, I couldn't get that last line. Could it be Alone Again Forever? Alone Again? Wasn't sure. Pleased with the song. Anyway, one day walking up to my manager's house, it suddenly came to me out of nowhere, Naturally. And here's the thing, I finished the song, was really happy with it. And the other song, Out of the Question, and we went to the studio, as I say, in those days to make singles. You had a 3-hour studio session, and you would do 2 songs, the A side and the B side. So everybody liked Alone Again, but they didn't think it would be the obvious single. They felt Out of the Question was more commercial. But by the end of the evening at the studio, my manager, Gordon Mills, said, even though Alone Again may not be the most commercial, it is the better song. When it was released, it was a big success in England, which of course I was happy with. I mean, that's really all I was looking for. England, followed by Europe. I had no idea about Australia, America. And here we were suddenly discovering that Alone Again was taking off in America. It was #1 for 6 weeks. I mean, it was astonishing. I mean, everywhere the record company were crazy. I was really surprised because I'd never looked upon success being that far afield. So there was one radio station in a small part of America who loved Alone Again, and they consistently played it day on. They put it on a rota non-stop playing it. And that led to suddenly the breakout from all over the country, which led to it being a huge success. Am I ever thankful to that radio station? Because without their support, the likelihood is it would have just died.
One reason why the song was so popular was its musical structure and harmony that was atypical for a pop song. It contains 3 verses and a bridge with no chorus. Every verse ends with the song's title line, Alone Again Naturally. It uses chords more common in jazz than in pop music. Not to mention the guitar solo in the bridge.
The great thing about success with a song you've written is that not just that it's a success in the top 10 or the top 20 and stuff, it's also the fact that you get covers. It's really, I mean, it's flattering for you as a songwriter that people love your song enough to want to record it. For example, after the success in America, albums were coming out with their iconic big orchestral albums by well-known American artists who were basing their albums on the success of Alone Again, which was really, again, a remarkable thing to see. But over here, with the cover versions that I was being given, I mean, people like Andy Williams covered it. You had people like Sarah Vaughan, fantastic singer. I remember Sarah's version, well, I still do, because I have it. The line, I remember I cried when my father died, and she had, I remember I cried when my daddy died. So I thought that was really sweet and stuff. It's not all about the position in the chart. It's very often about the people who love your song enough to want to record it. That's a real joy.
The most surprising placement of all was the opening theme for Maison Ikoku, taking Alone Again Naturally to iconic status in Japan and for anime and manga fans worldwide.
In a little while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sad, I promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby town.
53 years after it hit the charts, Gilbert O'Sullivan knows the why of Alone Again Naturally.
Success for me isn't based on a chart position. It's based on when you've written a song, however long it's taken you to do the lyrics, that you're happy with it. Nobody else has heard it. Nobody outside the room you've written it in. And there you are. You finished. Maybe it took you a few weeks to finish the lyrics and stuff. But the joy, no matter how long that takes, the thing is when you're happy with the song, that's success. And so with Alone Again, of course, the success I've achieved with that song and what it means to so many people can't be underpinned. It can't be looked on. It's amazing the reaction I get. And I'm proud of the fact that it means so much to so many people.
Thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Why This Song. I'll be back to keep you company for many more. Please follow the show on the platform of your choice and like us on social media. I'm Chelsea Briggs. Thanks for watching.
Alone